So here is the Jagaux Android kit. Apparently it's completely solderless. All we're going to need to open it is a Phillips screwdriver. We got some small Torx bits here and just some standard screwdriver bits like a flathead, small Phillips, and so on. I'm pretty impressed with the packaging. So the way it's set up is kind of sequential. So this is what you'll need for the first part. Apparently this will be second, third, fourth, and obviously these are the finishing touches. So these, I think, if you order things like the camera, the Apple CarPlay, that will all be in here. These are the various other bits, the screen, the cable connectors, and so on. But yeah, this is all kind of solderless. Everything just clicks in. It's replacing like for like. So yeah, we're going to have a look at it today. Okay guys, so the first job is to get this trim out. If you want to see how to do that, check out my last video in my old green XJ, sadly no longer with us. My old one didn't have the screen in this. For this job, you're going to need the unit that has the screen in it. You can buy these pretty reasonably online. But yeah, I thought for now, I'll just show you what this latest car's like. What we're going to need is, I always recommend having a towel to protect the gear knob, protect this trim when this screen comes out. These are invaluable, these trim removal tools, and also just a little multi-bit wrench so that you can remove various bits. So yeah, check out my old video on how to remove all this bit. This video is already going to be really long, so it seems kind of mad to go through it all again. The other video I think is pretty clear. It's exactly the same procedure. You take this off, then you take this off. Then there's 4 bolts here, and this comes out. Then we'll take that inside and yeah, see how we get on with it. This is the original screen that we're seeing now. So it's very, very, very basic. It's not especially responsive, as you can see. We've got navigation, agree. And as you can see, it's very laggy. It's very old. I think the last update was 2011 or something. Yeah, we've got CDs, you know, the usual stuff. So all these buttons are going to work. And the cool thing about this new kit is this interface, even with like the logo screen and stuff, that's emulated. So that's been copied very precisely. So the actual interface is going to look stock. It's going to be like a bunch more of these buttons, but instead of these, we're going to have, music streaming. We're going to have modern sat nav. We can change those apps on the fly if we want, download new things for it. So yeah, all these are going to be replaced with something that looks stock, but it very much isn't. It's a very modern, slick, fast Android unit. I'm looking forward to getting this in. So some of the XJs had a TV. Mine is one of them. And as you can see, it's been a while since TV's been in one of these. So I'm going to see what happens with that. Hopefully it should be fine. But as far as I understand it, we're just taking the guts out from behind here. We're putting a new screen in with capacitive touch. We're going to be removing the old board and putting a new one in. And yeah, that should be it. So yeah, look at my old video for this. I'll come back to you inside. Cheers. Okay, so here is the removed screen. I'll show you the back of it. So these are all the connectors that I've undone, here and here, here. And these, I'm not sure if these are the TV aerials. This wasn't on my old car. So maybe, this cat can get out of the way. Maybe these are, yeah, something to bear. Yours might or might not have that, but this is the unit. I'm going to turn it on its side. The first job is to get this bracket off. So you'll need a T30 bit. Just go around and do each of those bolts and same on the other side. That will separate the screen unit from the CD unit. This is actually, this won't be in yours. This is cabling from the Jagaux Bluetooth adapter. I'll see if I can reuse these wires, but maybe not. I'll show you it anyway. There's the screws and brackets out. This just lifts off. Keep that there safe. There we go. CD screen. Next step, on the back of the screen unit, we've got to remove 6 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Phillips head screws. We'll get the top cover off. Lifts up. We now have to remove this ribbon cable, this cable, and I'm not 100% sure what these two do, but I'm going to remove them anyway. So the first stage is remove them. Then we're going to remove this back using 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. Continue to disassemble. So to get these up, I'm just using something like this. You could use a flathead screwdriver, or ideally you want to use a pry tool. So for the ribbon cable, it's good to snap them out. So lift up. So the way it works is, so this part lifts up, and then this should come out. Then you should just be able to pry these ones up like that. Okay, so the best way to get them out is actually using a really small flathead screwdriver, getting under here, prying it up really gently. I can really tell that this plastic is starting to go. It's very brittle. It's very old, so just be careful. I'm going to actually, not quite sure what to do with this cable, so I'm going to take this back panel off and have a closer look. To remove the back plate, there's a screw here, here, and then here as well. 1, 2, and possibly for my TV unit, this one as well. Okay, so in the end, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 screws. This comes off, and I've also removed this ribbon, this cable using the flathead screwdriver, and I've still got this ribbon cable attached. I don't think I'm going to need it. So this is Jaguar's analog TV board. So yeah, if you've never seen it, there it is. It's basically useless. It's the digital switchover. But yeah, there's where the aerials go and stuff. So I'm going to remove this. It seems like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, 7 screws. I'm going to remove that, and we'll go from there. Right, I missed even more screws. There was one here and one here. I'm going to leave the TV board there for now, and just take this into there, break it out. There's a little hook back here, so just make sure nothing's getting caught in that. And there we go. What exactly this is, I'm not even sure. I'll put it down with that. This is what we're left with. So the next stage is to remove this plastic cover. There's 2 screws either side and a little tab maybe as well that needs to be pushed in. So yeah, I'm a little bit apprehensive about this. Again, like I say, it's old plastic. Old plastic tends to shrink. It tends to crack. It doesn't feel like it's got the most amount of rigidity to it. So I'll undo these, click this front off, and then in theory we should be able to pull this screen in. Yeah. Okay, next step. We're going to need to take this orange ribbon cable out. And we're going to need to take out these 2 connectors on the right hand side. So this by lifting these little tabs up, and this with a small flathead screwdriver. And then there will be, and then there's some screws on the screen on 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that now. So that's them removed now. Very carefully again, all plastic and the rest of it, screws removed, and the screen will come away. I guess it's good to keep this as a backup, but yeah, that's what we're replacing. So that's kind of the first part done, I guess. So I'm going to put this to one side, and I'm going to open the box. Now is the time, so we can actually start doing something. So step 1. That was step 0. This is step 1. Let's see what we've got inside. Okay, so here's the contents. Here's a ribbon cable, so be very careful with this. Obviously, we've got a 3D printed bracket. And this screen is going to mount exactly where the old one did. And we're going to re-secure it with the same 4 screws. Incidentally, so far, quite handily, all the screws have been the same size, so let's hope let's hope that continues. We'll see. Yeah, so I'm going to do that first, and then we're going to have to remove these brackets as well. So 2 screws there, and the same on the other side. Okay, so there's the new screen in place. I've removed these 4 screws. There's a couple of little wires here, and a clip. I'll just try and pry those off. Okay, I've installed the screen. We flow the ribbon cable up through here. We take our small black plug connector, and that has to go up here. So this little adapter goes in here. It goes this way around, not this way. So this way around. There we go. Okay, so next step. This is going to have to come out. We're going to have to lever that out. It's basically impossible. This is way fiddlier than the last one. It's basically impossible to do one hand, so I'm going to do that off camera. But that's coming out, and in its place, we're going to be putting this long kind of spliced cable. So it's quite important the direction that this goes in. So it's going to be that this goes into the board here. The other end is going to feed through the front of the stereo. This connector is going to go to the display, and this one, I'm not sure. I'm going to guess this one's going to talk to the PCB. We'll find out. So there's the old cable removed. The new one has gone in back there. So just make sure that this tail, make sure that's all nice and neat. And the new connector's coming out the front. And it's a bit of a cable spaghetti here, but this one comes to here. I've fed this one here, and it goes in like that. So that's connected to the new screen up there. Presumably this will connect to the rest of the system, and this is connecting to the buttons. So yeah, the next stage is I'm going to put the black plastic cover back on, screw it back on, so it's all kind of self-contained, and yeah, we should be done with the first box then. To reconnect the black front, these actually just fell away naturally for me, but we have to reconnect this and this to here and there. So yeah, just be aware before you snap the black front back on. Okay, now we're on stage 2 of 5. Here's the reassembled head unit. There's some film there, which it was on the original screen. I took it off, put the plastic surround back on, and I've just put it back there just for protection for the time being. So, box 2, see what's inside. This is the kind of brains of the operation, the controller board. By the way, I'm not quite sure. I'm keeping these to one side. We've got this little controller board and cable here from box one. I'll keep that to one side for now. This is the contents of the second unit and anti-static bag. I believe what we're going to be doing with this, we'll unpack it. My unit, as I've described, has got this TV board. This is what we took apart from behind here, really. This TV, so this is going to replace this on my unit. I believe if yours doesn't have this board, your board, I think, is mounted in here. So it's basically swapping it like for like, as far as I'm aware. We'll see where we get to, but I'm going to unpack this and I'm going to take this board off and then we'll look at swapping one for the other. Okay, so here it is. Amazing work from Alex, who makes these. I think this is a custom board, maybe this is an off-the-shelf board. I'm no big expert. It's all kind of pre-wired up, everything's kind of plugged in where it should be. And really usefully, everything has a label. So, for example, this HDMI port's got HDMI. It also has symbols on there, which I think is really useful. It's kind of like you can, I'm guessing we're going to match the symbols up. So we've got squares and circles. We have solid and filled circles. We have, target. We have USB antenna, GPS antennas, microphones, slots, and these all have like little symbols on, which I guess we will connect up. There's a footwell lamp as well, which I believe we can kind of interrupt the signal from that. So when you put your key in the ignition initially, it will start booting the system in theory for quicker boot up. Whether I do that, I'll see how I go. Same with the front and rear cameras. It would be great to try them out. However, I do already have a rear camera, which is wired up to a kind of rear view mirror, which I've set as a dash cam. I'll see how I go with it. I might test it just so I can kind of show you guys what it does. This is the camera trigger. So I believe this gets like wired up somewhere so that when you put the gear stick into reverse, automatically the screen will display what's behind you. But I believe you can also press various buttons in order to show different cameras. You like double tap this or double tap this. I'll get around to it. So that board is going to go exactly here. So I've unscrewed this already with 7 screws. You can kind of see where they went. So we're going to swap one for the other. It comes with these spacers. I think this is for if you have a unit without TV. So most people will have this. For me, I'm going to need to remove these spacers and the board is going to go plunk right there. So I'm going to do that. So there we are. I connected this with the original screws, which just went there, 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 and there. And these are the little standoff fittings which I removed. It's a really perfect fit. It's great. This is what it would look like with the standoffs with a non-TV unit. So most of you will have that, and the board will be fitted kind of behind that. So that's that. That is the second box done. So, what do we have in here? Box 3. Lots and lots of cables. Ooh, okay, very fragile. These are actually connected, so just be aware of that. Okay, so they come as a pair. And here, There we go. Again, more custom cables. So there's a second sort of spliced cable. Ah, this looks familiar. So this looks very much, so these are RCA cables. These look very much like what I actually already have in the Jaguars Bluetooth. So yes, this is going to be a slightly familiar bit. I'm going to guess we're moving on to kind of doing the CD player now, but I'll read the instructions in here. We have wire for connecting the buttons, which is this one. We have sound adapter, which is this one. We have the main connector adapter, which is this one, and an adapter board with 2 ribbons, which is this one. So let's see what we do next. Okay, step 1, we need this cable. We need to make not this side with the heat shrink, so the other long connector, this one. This has to go here. So I don't know if everyone will have these, but this little bit of plastic, I'm going to need to like ping it off. I think it's just like clipped around the connector, so I should be able to prise that off. And then the connector will just pull out. Again, if you use a flathead screwdriver really carefully, and then we'll put that in its place. And then these 2 connectors should connect into our board over there. Let's see. There we are. I've put my little black connector on, so just make sure that the heat shrink part is facing up. And we'll come back to that later. Okay. Back to our board. So now we need to take the chunky adapter, and we're worrying about these 2 connections here. There's one that is a 3-wire connector and one that is a 5-wire. The 3-wire, this one here, is going to go, so that's our power. So that's going to go here on the board. I'll zoom out so you get an idea. So it's going to go here, and the 5-wire, this one, is going to go into the video slot here. You can sort of see where this is going a little bit. So I'm going to do that now. I'll give you a shot of it. So there's the power, and there's the video, and here's the wires. Now we're going to get these 2 back together. I'm going to do that, and then I'll explain afterwards how it needs to be. So again, bearing in mind mine's a unit with a TV. When you're connecting up without the TV board, I believe you've got to like feed all the wires through, but I'm going to assemble it, and I'll talk. I'll maybe do some more filming if needs be. Okay, with the head unit back together, you can see mine's a TV unit, so all the wires are exposed. If you have a normal unit, it will be on this side, so you kind of have to be careful to route all the cables so they're accessible. Next job is to get this little board in with the ribbon cables. I'll come back and show you exactly where they go. This ribbon on the right goes into this side here. You can see there's a little gate that you lift up. You just pry that up very gently, and then once you've got the ribbon in, you lock it back down. From the rear view, we now take that, we sort of tuck that nicely down there, and we're going to connect this ribbon cable to this female part. Done. Okay, so that's it. There's our board. That's that connection there. It's all tucked away nice and neatly here. We got a bit of a fiddly one now. You have to get this ribbon in there. I'll come back again. It's not a one-handed job. There we go. So you can see this is the ribbon for the screen. This is the board we just installed. So connected here and connected down there. I've got a little hook, like cable tidy, that's built in to the system. So I'm just kind of like hooking it under there. This used to go to my TV unit. We'll see if I need to reuse that. I'm not sure. I'll leave it there anyway. I suppose it can just be dead. This can go in here. The old white cable, and the new cable from before with the heat shrink, that can go in here. With that done, we have to connect touch, buttons, and extension. So that one is the buttons plug. That one is extension from that little board we just put in. And this is touch. I'm going to route these in underneath here just to keep it all neat and tidy. There we go. Bit of a kind of spaghetti mess, but should be good in the end. The final thing to do, this is one thing that's easy if you don't have a TV unit. You have to get this ribbon cable into here. Now, because I have a TV unit, getting that in, I can't actually do it. So what I'm going to have to do, I'll route this under here, and then I'll do kind of some 90-degree bends, and then I'll get it in that way, which I'll show you in a second. Okay, so this is how I did it. I guess you've got to be quite careful to do this right. Make sure that the blue side is facing outwards. Once you've put the ribbon in, down the way, there's a little kind of latch that you snap down. It's kind of hinged, and that keeps it nice and firm in place. So next stage is we're just going to get this top cover back on. I guess I definitely don't need that, but I'm probably going to leave it for now. So I'm going to get that back on, and then I think we move on to the CD drive. Okay, so since mine is the TV unit with these 4 holes, this won't actually fit on the back because the HDMI is a kind of right angle, so actually makes it too tight. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, hopefully, in a way, it improves airflow to the unit. Happy accident, maybe. So here's a bit of a closer look at what it should look like now. I've just put this top bit back on, put all the screws back in place, just like give it a bit more structure. So from here, we've got our front and rear camera inputs. We got a camera trigger, which we can snap over to trigger it. There's our HDMI. Footwear lamp, which I'm guessing we can use to power it early. The main power cable. We've got this big connector, which I'm guessing will go through here when it's all reassembled. Got a USB here, GPS antenna, microphone. So there are all the connections. It might actually be quite useful to have this open for me because, like I say, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to use these cameras as I've already got dash cam in there. But I'll show you anyway. This is what the full kit would look like if you ordered all that stuff. Okay, back to the CD player, my old friend. This, basically what we're going to be doing, I already have the Bluetooth thing. This seems to work in much the same way, that it's got a little board here, it's a ribbon cable, and then auxiliary ports which intercept the CD player and allow us to have access to it to play what we want. So I'm effectively going to be swapping what I have here, and you can sort of see how I've routed it out here for this one. So you do that by removing 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and then this will lift up. And then we have to take the CD drive out with some really annoying tiny screws. I'll show you those in a bit. So the annoying screws are 1, 2, 3, right down there, and 4, right down there. You kind of want a really thin, long screwdriver for that. So yeah, good luck. Okay, that's that. So that's sealed back up. We've got a cable here. The audio, this is all completed. Now I'm going to tie it all back together with these, and then I think we're going to do a bit more plugging in. Okay, there we go. So hopefully that's been kind of clear. Hopefully. We're almost ready to put it back in the car now. But first, we plug these in so they're ready for going in the car. This one, this end will go in here, and the other one goes in here. Now be quite careful. These little tabs, these are like 3D printed fixtures, so they're quite fragile, so just be slightly careful when you're popping them in. And there we are. So these were pretty difficult to plug in. To give you a bit of an idea, that I think this is how far they should go. You have to give them a real push with like both thumbs. And that, I believe, is it. We're kind of good to go in the car. So there's 2 boxes left. Box 4, which has this Odroid in it. So it appears that we've got a Bluetooth or Wi-Fi dongle here. We've got some sort of way of like adding in the audio. There's all our inputs for the USBs and HDMI, some Ethernet there, power. So yeah, presumably these will all kind of connect up as we go along. So yeah. In box 5, you'll get, if you've ordered any optional extras, such as a reverse camera, you'll get them in here. You can also order a Carplay kit. We'll have to try that. Various cables to extend the cameras, and finally Alex's also included special trigger wire, which will come in handy if you do want reverse camera. So when you put that into, you wire this up to the rear reverse light. When you put it in reverse, the camera triggers and you can see what's going on behind you. Like I say, I don't know if I'm going to be using that because I already have one. But in terms of stuff that's also in this box that we definitely need to take in the car, we've got the Odroid, we need the footwell lamp cable, we need the GPS antenna cable. There are 2 USB cables and the HDMI cable, a power cable, and the microphone. So the hard bit is done, but we still need to wire all this up. Finally, if you've got standard audio, you'll have this S bag. So that'll be used to cut up the audios, the CD. If you have the premium audio, I think you get a little preamp and it'll be labeled P. Okay, here we are back in the car. I got my USB cables, I've got the little Android computer. I think for now, I'm going to put that in here. That's the plan, just so I've got access to it. If I need to change anything, if I need to add stuff, I've got it right here. I can just bring a laptop in or just unplug this and take it inside, whatever. That's kind of my plan for now. But I could potentially mount it underneath there. I could potentially... My old car used to have a shelf here. It would have been perfect for that, but this one's had it removed, annoyingly. You could mount it maybe under there, but for now, I just want it accessible. I'm going to have it in there. So the plan would be a little bit like... So basically, we'll run all these cables, have them accessible here. Make sure to keep the label side here, just so you can tell which is which and which goes where. But we're going to route it all through there, down the back, into the glove box for now. GPS antenna, I think I'm going to run up here, and I'll probably place it just in that corner so you can't really see it. It's away from any fans and so on. And as for the microphone, I think I'll probably route it up here. You can just tuck it behind there, and I'll probably fix it up here somewhere like that. Or potentially I'll see if I can do it around on the driver's side. But anyway, I'm going to try and put it behind this mirror somewhere. I'm not going to be doing any reverse cameras for now, because as I say, I've already got this. This works really well. It's a dash cam. Get a wide field of view and stuff. So I'm kind of happy with that for now. So for now, I'm not going to wire any of those in. The footwell lamp for down there, I'm not going to wire that in either. I'm just going to do full testing of this. I presume it's all fine, but I want to run this for a couple of months, this sort of demo unit, check everything's working fine, and then I think I'll probably will sort of do a test where I wire the footwell lamp up. I do the reverse trigger maybe for the reverse light and so on. But yeah, for now, I just want to kind of check that the unit's working. It's already going to be a ridiculous upgrade compared to what we had in the old car. So yeah, I'm going to start just feeding them through, and I'll show you what I do. Okay, so I've sort of tied these up neatly for now. This is kind of where I'm at. GPS antenna, HDMI, the power cable, USB, and I've also put my little RCA. And then I've fed it through down here. And at the moment, I've just got them loose. There is the GPS antenna, which I've snuck in there. You can sort of see that cable going up through there, like so. You just have to pop that little panel off. I also have got the microphone for now running down there. The plan is I'm going to kind of bring the unit in here now. All these will plug into that. All these will plug into the unit itself. And then I'll do a bit of a test and see if everything's all right. Okay, so here we are with the unit. It's really easy to connect up, actually. So this is why you want to keep these labels on this side where the unit goes in. So you see those little symbols, you just match them up. That's matched up. So the microphone matched up. You get the idea. So you just go across, connect all of them. So all these little ports here. If you had, if you want to do things like the lamp, there's the lamp one. You would connect that up and going down there, and yeah, the reverse lights and stuff. So I'm not going to do that now, but it's as easy as that. I can just plug them back in, run the cable, and that should be all good. So the next stage is to reconnect those, basically reconnect it, do what we did in reverse, put all the cables back where they should be. What I'm going to probably do, because there's a lot of loose wires, I can kind of imagine these rattling around. What I might do actually is I might get a little bit of electrical tape, put it round each of these just so they don't slip out. And I might put a few cable ties in here just so it neatens everything up a little bit. And then finally, we can plug all this in and give it a little test. Okay, so we're almost there. I have taped these up just so there's no chance of them slipping. I've also zip tied, done one zip tie around all these kind of cables where they meet. So hopefully that kind of helps if there's any tugging, they won't fall out. I've also had a bit of a tidy up, all the old sort of TV cables I've zip tied there, just make everything nice and neat. The final steps are this connects here. So if you want to look at that connection, that goes into the port with the J. And this connection goes here. And then after that, we can just go around, connect up all our old cables. We're good to go. So basically what this is doing is kind of intercepting various bits, rerouting it, and then, yeah, going back into the original system. So it's all kind of plug and play. It's only if you want to start wiring in like dash cams or trigger, you know, triggers to get things going. But, you know, as you can see from what I've been doing, this is all been totally solder free, no splicing wires, nothing. One thing that threw me off at first, so this is, I've taped all these for security, like I say, but this is, I've got standard audio system, not the premium. You can tell if you've got the premium because those door covers for the speakers will say Alpine. And also on the back shelf, you'll probably have a subwoofer, the back parcel shelf. I've got a standard one, so all I need to connect is that one. These extra two that come out of the CD player, turns out we actually don't need them. I guess it's kind of good to have because if you ever upgrade to a premium system or whatever, then great, you've got the option. But for us, we just need this. Okay, I'm gonna plug these two in here. I'm gonna plug everything back up. Well, and then we'll get this plugged in. Okay, the moment of truth. That's all plugged in. I've just left the wires loose. You basically just plug everything into the back of this Android. There's the HDMI, power, audio, USB, and then that's that comes with it. It's a little Bluetooth adapter. One thing to do is slide this cover off, put a battery here. This makes sure that the clocks all match up when the car's off. I believe it can't be shipped with a battery, but yeah, make sure you put that there. I think that's it. This little board, because I'm using a demo unit, you won't get one of these if you're ordering it. It's just to change some video settings. It's literally nothing to worry about. So let's give it a last video for today. Everything's back together, as you can see. All good, all fixed in. I've actually put the Android box under this bit of trim. It goes in quite nicely because you just put it there really easy. All the wires go there, and then this leather trim just fits over it nicely and kind of caps it, so you can barely notice it's there at all. I'll have to see how it goes with heat, but yeah, for now that'll do, I think. Okay, after a bit of faffing, here I am. This is the Jagaux. I think I've tested it pretty thoroughly now. That said, here's my setup. Here is how it's all plugged in. I just left this out so you can see it, but I'm gonna hide it behind this bit of trim and just tuck all that underneath here. Works pretty well for me. There's the GPS thing that sort of runs down here like I showed you and runs across into here. One of these USB cables I've actually run into the glove box, because the handy thing about it is you can put stuff like Carplay or whatever into this, and this is just kind of handy because say you need a mouse or whatever, something goes wrong, it's good to have this USB port accessible for if that's all tucked away. It's a bit of a pain reading that, so I do kind of recommend keeping that in there or somewhere accessible. But I'll show you around the Jaguars anyway. So the main thing that is kind of hidden in this menu is like you can kind of swipe things for local speed tests, global settings, different things swap. You can have various different logo screens. There's a logo settings bit there, so that acts a bit like the old one where you press it. I've set mine to be the Jaguar logo. You click it again. Yeah, so various different logos to have there. So navigation, I've set Waze to be the app that I want to use. Music, I've put Tidal on there. You can flick up from the bottom and then press that circle to exit. Messages, you can have WhatsApp or Telegram or whatever. CarPlay I've got on there because, like I say, you can use the dongle. You can do the old like screen off, like with the old screen. One thing I noticed is if you press this menu button, it will actually boot back to the old factory setup. So yeah, if you've got fond memories of that for whatever reason, then yeah, you can use it, and obviously use your climate controls and stuff in there as well. The first thing you want to do is sort of click Wi-Fi and then connect it to your phone. After that, it should just automatically connect. Sorry, it's a bit of a sunny day. All programs has a big list of stuff. You can go onto the Google Play Store and download whatever you want. These are just the ones I've got. There's a few things that come on it factory. I would say don't mess with those. Just leave them as is. If you wanted to change something, so say you don't want Tidal, you want Spotify, you press and hold one of the buttons, press the little gear icon, click tap action, application. I'll go down to choose Spotify and I'll say launch app and I'll just click tick. So that should be that. Now I click that, Spotify comes up and you can log in or whatever. I'm not quite sure what else there is to say about it really. I'll try and show you CarPlay. It's a bit funny because I'm filming on my phone now. Oh, okay, it seems to be working. So a lot of people will be kind of familiar with this. This might look a bit laggy because my phone is processing filming this as well as doing it, but it is pretty smooth in truth. It finds where you are. Yeah, so I'm quite impressed really on the whole. I've been using it quite a lot. I still do have this here just in case I ever need it, but you might not want to. This is just like a magnetic holder that you put your phone on, it charges. But yeah, that's the kind of interface really. So yeah, my main thing would be like, that's a great place to put this box. It doesn't seem to have failed me so far. I really recommend having an extension of the USB which comes with the kit. And that's it. I imagine this will be really exciting to some people with the old XJs. I know I was. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Give me a like and a thumbs up, whatever you're supposed to do. Thanks a lot.